Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear student, hopefully you are safe and sound at home. So, welcome to my online class. So today, the introduction of the teacher in class is I am Ibrahim Khalilullah Imon, assistant teacher in English, Halichor Cantonment Public School and College is with you. So today's subject is ICT for the students of class 6. So dear student, before starting the topic, so can you guess what it is? So I think you will understand what the picture is. So can you tell me what the picture is? Okay, this is processor. And can you tell me what it is? Nice. This is also a processor. So that means these two are the processor. Definitely these lies inside a computer. So can you tell me what it is? Oh, it's a printer. So what kind of device it is? Definitely it's an output device of a computer. So let's come what it is. Generally we know very easily it's a monitor. So it's also the output device. So dear student, definitely you have got the idea what we are going to enjoy today and what we are going to discuss about. So definitely today's our topic is processor, motherboard and output device. Dear student, so the learning outcomes after completing the lessons, definitely surely you will be able to know the name of different parts of computer. You will be able to know the output devices. You will be able to know the function of processor, motherboard and output devices. So let's come to the lesson. Actually, today we are going to start with the lesson 5. So here goes the lesson. Lesson 5. That is processor and motherboard. This, dear student, from your book you can underline the important sentences and just keep watching my video so that you can understand what will be very important for you and what you have to make underline. So let's start the passage. So every part of computer is very important. Computer cannot work in absence of any part. That means without any part a computer doesn't work. That means a computer is not working. Even then the most important part is processor. So that means what is the processor? The processor is a very important part in a computer. So we have already told that processor of a computer gives and task information from the memory and then does processing. So dear student, what's the question? The question is what's the task of processor? That means what's the function of processor? So the function of processor is that the process of computer gives to, that means process of computer that gives and takes information, gives information and takes information from the memory, right? So the processor transfer information to memory and takes information from memory, then does processing. So the processor's function is two here. One is giving and taking information from memory, another one is processing. Does processing. So now let's come to the next line. Processor is also inside the computer. as the memory. So definitely processor lies inside a computer like a memory, and that's why we cannot see it from outside. So if anyone asks that what actually what does it look like and why we can't see this processor, because it lies inside the computer. If we dissimulate a computer, if we open a computer, so the processor must be appeared in our eyes distinctly. If we open a computer, we'll normally find board with innumerable tips of electronics attached to it. So dear student, these are the tips, and these are the tips, and these are also the tips, these are also the tips, these are also the tips. So innumerable tips of electronics attached to it. The name of this board is motherboard. So you know what is the name of motherboard? I mean, where motherboard is a board where innumerable types of electronics attached to it, and it is more significant part of computer. So what is the significant part of computer? Motherboard. Motherboard is a significant part of computer. This board holds and protects all the parts of the computer as a mother does for all her children. So like mother, that means mother cares all of her children. Touch, mother holds, mother protects. So this way, the board also holds and protects all the parts of computer. So what's the function of motherboard? It holds and protects all the parts of computer. So, so this board has been named motherboard. Actually, the features of mother is like is as the board is, so that's why that is called motherboard. So can I think you can describe it very easily that why it is called motherboard. So now come, we will find a pretty big device in all motherboards with a big fan attached over it. So here um, a big device with motherboard that is called that is a big fan. A large amount of electricity flows through a processor as it does millions of accounting works in a moment. So actually processor does so many works in a short in a click of in a time of click or in a click of a mouse. So that's why it needs more much electricity. So the processor becomes so hot that it needs to be cooled down by a fan. Otherwise the processor may be burned down. So where's the activity of a fan? The fan cools the processor when it becomes so hot. Otherwise the processor may be burned down. So the question is that how the processor burned when the processor it becomes so hot when it doesn't cool by a fan, so the processor may be burned down. So dear student, so this is the processor, about the processor. So I think you have got all the ideas information about the processor. So let's come to the activities. The last sentence: the processor is the biggest and important of all electronics in motherboard. The last sentence of this lesson. So that means we got so much information from this lesson 5, motherboard and processor. So the processor is the important part of motherboard. So dear student, let's come to second lesson, lesson 6, output device. By now you have learned that information and data are entered inside a computer by input device. Computer works on those information and data by the help of memory and the processor. Works having done, computer sends out result by output device. So what is output device? The function, the activities of output device is what? Works having done, computer sends out result by output device. Those of you have either seen or used the computer or have seen the picture of a computer or can identify the monitor separately. So we can find out this sort of task by the computer, by the picture of a computer, or by the monitor separately, as it looks very much like a television. So the television gives us the picture, the results of the picture. So this way the monitor also does the same work. So that's why the monitor is the output device. What happens inside a computer appears at the monitor. So those who use computer always keep their eyes on the monitor of the computer. If you write something in the computer, you can see that it's in the monitor. So if you write on the keyboard, that means if you input any words, so that will be shown by the monitor. If you draw any picture, you will also see in the monitor. So that's why monitor represents us so many. All these things were have been done by input device. So that means by the input device, we got so much information, and the monitor shows them. So that's why the monitor is the output device. So dear student, you also know the functions of output device, that means monitor. You can write it very easily. What appears in the monitor of a computer is not all permanent. If anything comes, the previous one will vanish. So that's why the monitor will present us one by one picture. So we need to take some other step if we want to do something permanently. And for doing this, printer is the easiest solution. So these are not the permanent. So to take it permanent, we must take the help from the another output device, printer. Everything of what has been written in this book was first printed by a printer. So that means in this book, what have been written, all these things we can get by a printer. So by a printer we can find out the page, we can take print either books or letters in the paper of definite size. We cannot use general printer when we need to print poster, banner, big size advertisement, or map of house. So that means the general printer gives us a definite size of a paper, size of a thing. But for the different thing, for the very uncommon thing, for the very uncommon size, like poster, banner, big size advertisement, or map of house, we need a plotter. So dear student, just write down what's the task of plotter. Whenever we need to print poster, banner, big size advertisement, map of house, so the thing will be done by a plotter. So it is not that we always want to print something permanently by using output device. Sometimes we want sound as an output. For instance, we want to listen to a song. So whenever we like to listen a song, or we like to listen to music, so we can attach a speaker with computer. So if we want to get sound as an output, so that means whenever you play a media player, whenever you play a word, a player, music player, the sound comes out from this speaker. So speaker is also one type of output device. So dear student, underline another point, that is also the output device. So up to this, we have got the first one, monitor is the output device. Second one, printer is the output device. Third one, plotter is the output device. Now fourth one, the speaker is the output device. So dear student, let's go the next. We can see the monitor and can hear from the speaker. So the computer has now become a great means of recreation. Only one person can watch in the small monitor of a computer. If the monitor is very small, so only one person can see it. For the many people, so we need a large screen. Sometimes it is not sufficient, rather we need to see together. So the picture in the monitor must be made bigger when somebody deliver lecture or give a presentation in a seminar. So to watch World Cup or enjoy movie, the monitor must also be made bigger. So multimedia projector used in these cases. So dear student, we got the another idea that when multimedia is used, when multimedia projector is used. So you can write the answer very easily. So when the multimedia projector is used. So that is also a output device. The picture in the monitor can be much bigger in the screen of a video projector. Once the monitor of a computer occupies larger space, today's monitors are very thin and light. While discussing input device, we were asked to tell whether there can be any device that can act as both input or output device at the same time. Surely it can be, and the name of such device is touch screen. So in that touch screen, we can get both. That means input and output device. Whenever you touch, when you write anything on this screen, that will be input, and that shows us, the writing shows us, so from the screen of the touchpad or touch screen. So that at that time, that will be output device. So the touch screen works like a monitor. We can enter information inside that screen by touching it. Now touch screen is not only for a computer, that there is also touch screen for mobile phone also. So dear student, we got another example. To sum up, we can say, we got so many output devices. The first one, we got what, monitor, and second one we got printer. Printer does not only print brightly; it also can do color printing. And after that, we got a bigger size that is called plotter. Plotter is there for painting or printing big picture, banner, and poster. After that, we got speaker. Even sound can be output. Then speaker is the output device. After that, we got multimedia projector. We have video or multimedia projector to show the picture of monitor in a much bigger size. And the last we got touch screen. Touch screen is both input and output device at the same time. So dear student, we have learned these things: monitor, printer, plotter, speaker, video projector, and the touch screen. These all are the output device. So let's come to the answer, the questions please. Dear student, there are some questions for you. You must do all the answer. Here goes the answer. Here goes the question. Write down please. Number one, what is the function of processor? What is the output device? Give three examples with one function of them. How does motherboard play a role in computer? How has processor been burned? And the last question, explain how monitor is an output device. So dear student, up to this, today we have gone through lesson 5, processor and motherboard. After that we have got output device. As we have got a class of output device earlier, so today after going through these two lessons, you must go through these questions and answers, okay? And you will be have the homework today. So dear student, write this homework. There will be two tasks. The first task, that means task 1, a processor needs to be cooled down by a fan when it becomes too hot. There are 1,000 processors in a supercomputer which cannot be cooled down by a fan. In that case, give a solution of your own how that can be kept cold. So dear student, there will be task 2. Can you imagine of a new output device by which we can do something else other than seeing or listening? So without seeing or listening, is there any output device? So write down this name and with activities. So dear student, that's the homework for you. Hopefully you have understood the whole video. So don't worry if you have any query. So please go to the comment box and write down your query if you have. So I'm ready to give your answer with a very short time. So thank you very much for enjoying the video and listening with great patience. Goodbye everyone.